work-life balance, John.
I'm in sales, there's no such thing.
Karen Snyder, I've got 6 o'clock. You good to start?
You were bipolar tonight.
I only have 5:59, Jim.
You would kill.
I'll watch for your nod.
So I could take 4 weeks off in a row.
You want?
That won't eat.
Yeah, we like that.
We're normal, my kids.
It's like you're on the air.
Football game, the big orange glove.
Yeah. Need a whistle.
Football.
Never had to worry about that Iowa State game.
It would have been this year.
It's 6 o'clock now. Can you start the recording?
Yes, it's going to the cloud.
All right. Recording's in process. It's 6 o'clock. We'll call it in order. Roll call, please.
Mike Ackerman,
Here.
Gary Hess,
Here.
Doug Hughes,
Here.
John Kraft,
Here.
Karen Lyons.
Here.
All right, all 5 council members present, along with mayor. On the agenda, we do have one change right ahead of the administration. We're going to slip in a HR committee report just for discussion, no action. Can I have a motion to approve the amended agenda? Doug, aye.
Jim, I couldn't hear
Karen.
that. I couldn't hear that motion and agenda. Can you repeat who made them, please?
I made it. Jerry made the motion.
Mike seconded.
Doug, aye.
Karen, I.
Good?
John, I.
Mike, aye.
So motion made by Jerry, seconded by Mike, and 5 ayes. Are we good, Karen?
Got it. Thank you.
You betcha. Okay, as is typical, we'll open with opportunity for citizen comment. And seeing no citizens in the room other than our HR committee and none online, we will move past that. So next up is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Doug, aye.
Karen, I.
John, I.
Gary, aye.
Mike, aye.
Motion carries with 5.
That was John and Mike.
Doug and John.
John made the motion, Doug second.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I can't tell.
That's fine.
We'll try to slow it up and be clearer on this end, Karen.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Okay, next up then is our HR committee report. So to set the stage for this, I had asked 2 council members and 1 member from the public to serve on an HR committee. The intent is to systematically go through our roles and responsibilities, particularly of the leadership positions, taking a look at initially at the way we do compensation, the way we're structured for compensation at each role, and then following through with how we do performance reviews as well. So the committee's formed. We have our first update tonight from Gary McAndrew. And I'll start by saying thank you, Gary, for agreeing to serve on the role as the HR committee along with Doug Hughes and Jerry Hess. You're fine. Just talk loud enough for.
Okay. First of all, thank you for allowing me to be part of your committee. You already mentioned Jerry and Doug and myself. Before I get into what we're going to try to do, if you're wondering why I'm here, my background, first of all, I'm a native of Peosta. I grew up when we had 100 people here back in long time ago anyway. I lived most of my life here, so I was in Des Moines and I was in Des Moines about 10 years, moved back. So I want to do whatever I can to help out, always to help out the community. My background has always been in human resources. I started in 1983. I'm dating myself at Principal Financial Group in Des Moines. And for 35 years, I worked in corporate, using larger companies and human resources, hiring a lot of executives, all compensation and benefits. So that's my background. 2 years ago, I started my own company, MCM Search Group. And so what I do right now is I consult for other companies, hiring. 99% of it's probably hiring, but I have been consulting on some comp plans for a couple of companies, benefits, those types of things. So I have my own company, worked out of my home. For the last 11 years, in addition to that, I worked as a consultant for a company out of Omaha that hires superintendents for school districts. I was on the school board in Western Dubuque and an HR background. This guy, professor, called me up to see if I would help him out. So I've been doing it for about 11 years. They just told me I just filled my 42nd superintendent this past week. So the only reason I bring that up is because Whitney's position as city administrator or city manager, whatever you want to call it, whatever city it might be, the company I work for also does searches for city administrators. The search is identical, really, the process. I've helped out on some of those, but I focus more on the superintendents. So you go ahead and look at, and that's what we'll get into is, I guess I won't skip ahead, but as part of that process, the intent of the committee is what I've been told is that we will look at as much research and data as we can collect and look at all the positions for the city, initially for the compensation. Try to come up with some salary ranges and packages that are fair. And again, look at the research and data going into that and come up with some proposals for the city council to look at. So it's not reactive. If you have to hire somebody, you can go and look at a range, depending on what experience they have, they fit into this range, wherever it might be. So that is the initial process, is to come up with a comp plan and a range for all the positions in the city. And then the second part of that is to come up with, and I don't know what your current performance evaluation plan is right now, but at least to look at it, does it make sense? I can just tell you from my experience, that's one of the things I did this year with the company. Almost every company does not like their performance evaluation. It's just no matter what company you're at, they don't like it. So my intent is to look what you have first of all and see what else is out there. If we be creative, come up with something that's first of all fair to the employees and is a true evaluation. It's simple, you know, we don't have to have a 19-page evaluation. Something that's fair and simple and it provides good feedback to come up with some sort of an instrument that will provide that. So my understanding is those are the two main objectives of this committee. And so when Doug and Jerry and I have done our research and present that to you, that's what we look at comp plans and then the performance evaluations. That's pretty much it. That's all I've been told to say. So. And again, we're in the initial stages of this, so we're just getting going on it. But I guess if you have any other comments, or just let the committee members know.
No. So I'll just, great summary. Did you have something, Dan?
No, I was just gonna say, excellent summary. Sounds like a great task, right? I mean, I think definitely a good thing overall.
And the other reason I brought up the superintendent searches and the city administrator, because that's what we do. One of the first thing you do is you look at, all right, what's everybody else in their region, the municipality, where are they at, sizes, all those, that type of thing. So that's the other reason. But thank you for allowing me. I have very few skills, and this is one of the things I want to do, so to help out. But I'm happy to help wherever I can for the city. So.
Well, this seemed to be a no-brainer. The more we talked early on, it seemed like this was too good to be true, given your background and the city's need right now. So I appreciate that. Before, I just had a couple comments I wrote, but let me first check with. Do you have any comments or questions you'd like to bring in? And you're on mute, Karen, if you're talking.
You cut out and I didn't hear what you were asking.
I was just asking if you had any comments following on Gary's summary of what the HR committee has been asked to do.
No, I'll be interested to see how it comes out though.
Agreed. We all will be. I know there's been a couple conversations that overall, I would wrap all this up as saying really the intent of this is to make sure we are retaining and recruiting the right kind of talent for the positions where we need it. And the other concept as we get into the performance evaluations is this notion, I know in the private sector, there's a lot of talk about pay for performance, right? And in the public sector, the little bit of searching I've done, I've had a hard time finding examples of that. So it's, given your background, I think you may have a unique view of both of those. And hopefully as an HR committee, we can find some ways to maybe creatively start bringing some of that pay for performance concept into the public sector. Because I think that's a key part of retaining key talent. So thank you for doing that. I understand, so we've got the kickoff or the introduction tonight. As a committee, what do you have as your next deliverable?
February 9th, is that the date? February 9th?
Yeah,
Would be the first.
so the next council meeting.
Right, is that your next, okay.
And what as a committee, what are you planning to bring on the 9th?
What is a proposal as far as looking at least initial start of a range or a concept anyway of talking about compensation.
Specific for the city administrator role?
Yeah, we're not there yet, but yeah, that's right.
Okay. So we'll have to make sure we get that on the agenda for the next meeting as well.
Yep. And I,
If anybody's got any questions, you can talk to any one of us. So.
Or suggestions.
Yeah.
You've seen something that.
I just like,
There's a value, so.
I like the fact that hopefully on the back end of this, it's gonna be really systematic. It's not a lot of arbitrary, us guessing what to do. This is what we decided. So that's been a lot of that.
My goal is moving forward for next budget years and years down the road, we'll have a plan so we know what to budget for wages and stuff, so it'll be spelled out.
yeah, I'm super grateful to have the committee's support. This is something we've wrestled with since I've been here. So I'm sure it was a struggle, I think, before when I got here. So I appreciate everybody's time because it certainly is very helpful. And I think it will help us ramp up the momentum or augment what we already have. A good thing that's going.
Yeah.
And I would say, just a little tidbit, I don't know if you were you involved then in the last WB superintendent search at all? Were you still on the?
Yeah, actually, no, I hired him actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I come from Montezuma.
Yeah, yep.
So we have now, what WD in Montezuma has a super bizarre Tyler Lott. Was my husband's boss.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that, okay.
Well, coach, so he came up here and then Dave Hager
Went down
came
there.
down there. Then I came here, Dave Hager's back up at Mac Valley, so it's kind of a weird sister cities.
Not a lot of, just a lot of swapping, a lot of swapping of people.
Pipeline and reverse pipeline.
All right. So again, to the HR committee, thank you. I know you've had several meetings already. There's going to be several more. Thanks for your commitment to that. Guess
Thanks
time
for
well
getting on the
spent.
agenda early too, so not that I want to stay on.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. All right, next up under administration is a resolution authorizing the loan agreement for $5,170,000 and a general obligation urban renewal bonds. And my board docs stopped working.
So do I.
Sorry for the delay. I'm waiting for my computer to stop.
Yeah, and this
Okay.
is just very generic legal documentation that wraps up our loan issuance. You'll recall Heidi explained the fact that the interest rates, everything are locked in. This is just these final bond documents.
Thank you.
Whitney, the only question maybe is that it's for 5.17, but in the first paragraph, it says not to exceed 5 million. Is that kosher or is that?
Principal, I'm not sure why that.
No, I didn't read it all, but.
Well, that's what I mean, these come straight from our bond attorneys, so.
Okay, fair enough.
I know, that's good. I will follow up on that question, but.
Okay.
They're much smarter than me, so.
Yeah, it looks like down below, there's a section where it calls out principal amount of 5.17.
Yeah,
I think actually on clarification on that, if you remember, we had to have those two public hearings. The first one was for the essential purpose and the other one was for basically the park drainage, which was a non-essential purpose.
oh, that's right.
Yep.
So the 5 million, yep. So the 5 million is the essential purpose, you see, that's right, Karen, thank you. Like 2 sentences above that, it says in quotes, the essential purpose loan agreement.
And
And then there's that 500,000 that is the urban renewal.
Got
So,
it, okay,
and those are just not to exceed figures.
got it.
No,
Great. Thank you.
good
for the
call,
clarity.
good catch. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
So are we good with it as is?
Yes, that's correct. I couldn't figure out why that.
Okay, so we've had several meetings on this. This doesn't happen quickly or easily, a big step like this, but I think we're ready, if the council is, for a motion and a second to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the loan agreement for 5.17.
I'll second.
So Jerry makes the motion, John seconds.
Doug, aye.
Karen, no.
John, I.
Mike, aye.
Motion carries with 4. The no being from Karen Lyons.
Thank you.
So next up is the DOT TAP school signage project acceptance. This would be the flashing signs and radar signs in front of the schools.
Correct, yeah, this is a document that the state requires that we get executed to submit with our final grant audit.
Certifying it's done, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Dean's okay with the work. Mike, you're okay with the work?
Yeah,
It's been a fantastic addition. It's really slowed down a lot of people, to tell you the truth.
I know Mike Ackerman just sent an email that had a question that I was gonna get. He was discussing the timing of it, if it's able to turn off the assuming obnoxious flashings.
I didn't say that. I said the slow down piece of it off school times. Could you?
I don't know. I have to look into it. Since it was winter time when they put them up, I haven't really looked at it just because it's got it. I'd be standing out there with a computer, so I haven't really done anything. Apparently there's all kinds of functions with it. You can put slow down, you can put pretty much anything from my understanding. So I'm assuming you can do a lot, like what you said, there's things that I was planning on doing when I had a little armor out to change it up. Because we're all guilty of it when we go by there too, you know, that it's just, even if you're going 20 or 21, it still flashes that big.
Right, right.
There's different functions you can do.
Right, okay.
Just not now.
Yeah, no, but I appreciate it. I'm just worried if it's always flashing, it'll start to not have the impact that it can have, right? You know what I mean?
Nope, I got it.
Mike, are you thinking it would be either only active or more aggressively active only during school hours?
Potentially, yeah. Or, for sure, those key times in the morning and.
As for the flashing portion, otherwise we can still leave the radar on, obviously, for all times, but when it's school zone time.
Definitely making sure.
I think you can do that.
Yeah.
Again, I'll look into it.
Yeah, I think you can. I know you, I mean, you could plug a computer up to it.
Yeah, it's a plug and play. It's just I haven't.
Yep. No, I appreciate you.
Or I think some places have like the slow down flashes if you're like more, like they set the slow down like at 25 or 30 or something. I'm not,
Yeah,
I think you can basically customize it.
You can customize it. I'll look into it.
19 feels real slow when you're driving.
It is.
At 7 o'clock at night. Okay, so with that being noted, got another comment?
One question. Is this a one-time deal or can we apply for this grant again next year for more signs like that?
We could. The TAP grant is also, so this was like routes to school process. So yeah, we certainly would. We also see though our sidewalks and trails fitting nicely into that program. Yeah, it'll be available. I would.
It's just not a one-time grant.
Nope, it's not a one-time. Yeah, it's DOT funding we will always have access to.
Cool.
All right, so I think this one, we should have a motion to approve this certification of completion.
Make the motion to approve the DOT TAP school project.
Michael, second.
Doug, aye.
Karen, I.
John, I.
Jerry, aye. Mike, aye.
And just for
Motion by-
clarification, that was the resolution approving the work completed for the school zone flashing beacon and radar signs project.
Yes. Motion by Doug, second by Mike, and 5 ayes.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the Planning and Zoning Commission ordinance. This is an adjustment to the ordinance to allow for one of the 5 zoning board members to live outside but near the city of Peosta.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah, the rationale here is that Planning and Zoning Committee, their interest is not exclusive to what's inside the existing boundaries of the city, as we discovered as we talked about annexation here recently. So with the inclusion of somebody outside, it lets us bring that interest into the board. I think it's a very healthy. So we would need a motion to, and a second to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission ordinance.
Second, Doug, aye.
Karen,
Sorry,
Wait,
we'll need to set it for first reading at the next meeting.
Sorry, my
Well,
bad.
you could just make the motion to set it for reading at the next.
Yep,
So I'll make the motion to set it for reading at the next council meeting.
February 9th would be the next meeting.
And I apologize, I didn't want to set it for reading and then have a bunch of comments, so sorry. Didn't mean to slow play it.
I second that. Doug, aye.
Karen, I.
John, I
Jerry, aye.
Mike, aye.
So I lost it. Who did first and second motion?
first.
So motion by John, second by Doug, 5 ayes to set a,
just to hold the first reading.
Correct.
perfect, on February 9th. Okay, unfortunately, that's the last of the administrative items because it seems like we really stumbled through those today. At the end of the meeting, we've got closing citizen comment, no citizens online, none in the room. So we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, Jerry. Second that, Doug, aye.
Karen, I.
John, I
Aye.
Mike, aye.
Jerry motion, Doug second, 5 ayes to adjourn. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.
It was no record.
No record.
still champion.